In this portion, we're going to go ahead and start to use our reference and start to build our eye. Let's go ahead and move forward. Okay, so we're at the point where we can throw a couple things down to kind of anchor us in our process, right? So I want to go ahead and grab some eyes. So I have my eye reference folder where I just have tons of eyes that over the years I paid for, collected, taken pictures of, and I want to bring it in. I want to use something pretty cool. I don't know exactly which style I want just yet, but I'm sure I'll find something. So the character's got a lot of grains. I can do this, might be fun to do. I can also just change the color, but this definitely is supported with the color scheme that I have. So let's see. Let's go ahead and drop this guy here. And let's go ahead and double click and go into here. We're just going to clean it up fairly quickly. Just take my magic lasso circle tool and just get somewhat of a good shape. And actually I'm going to make this a live layer by double clicking, click OK, and now I'm going to exit out. And I could blur the edges a little bit. I think that'd be a good idea so it won't look so picturesque. And so I'll go select, modify, expand by 2s and get those edges. And I can do this. I can go to modify feather, shift F6, and let's feather on the 5, and that should give me a nice edge. I'm gonna hit it again. All right, so not as feathered as I'd like, but we'll worry about that later. Okay, let's go and save. All right, it won't let me save, so I'm going to make this as a new symbol, Shift F1, and I'm going to pop my library open because I know I'm going to need that again. So if I already know I'm going to need that again, there's no point in not just grabbing it and dumping it right now. So let's dump this in the folder here, and I'll have that throughout the project. So that's a good thing. All right, we'll minimize that library and move it right here for now. I'll close this up. Don't have to save it, and then I'm going to throw this guy in the garbage just to keep my file a little more organized. And so now I'll grab it from my library. It's already converted, so then I just need to place it. So let's just go ahead and place this little guy. Now let's move this up a little bit. And so how do I want to lay this guy down? Let's make it smaller. And move it here. There's a couple ways we can do this, but initially I'm just going to round it out, use my arrows and get it in place. Now I don't want it to be flat. That's going to be a problem, right? So I'm going to Control T again. Well, I don't have to. I'm going to go to warp, and I'm going to move it and give it the illusion of sphere shape. So let's move this guy here. There's a lot of different things we can do to create that illusion, so it's certainly not one way. But I think this will work for us right now. And then, once I get here, I'm gonna keep this guy a little dark. Yeah, because it's too bright. It's too bright starting off, so going to add a layer to it. So I selected a new layer, and I'm going to attach it by holding Alt down, and I'm going to attach the layer here. And that means that I can only paint on top of this. So I'm going to grab my airbrush, nice and soft, I'll move it up a little bit, and I'm going to get a dark local color. Actually, I'll grab that and just create an environment where it looks like it belongs there. So it doesn't look like I just grabbed something and also I'm going to hit my F11 to give it a nice blur and work it again. There we go. And so in this case, I'm going to go ahead and merge those guys. So Shift F1, it becomes one symbol. And now I'm going to add a mask by clicking the mask tool here. And just going to clean it up with an airbrush. So the dark, it's what erases in the mask. So let's zoom in. Let's get a good look. I'm going to go ahead and close this library up. We don't need that right now. And as a matter of fact, let's go full screen. Let's just work on this really quick so you guys can see a little bit better. Probably should have done that earlier, but that's okay. I think if you have any idea how Photoshop works, it's not a tough concept to figure out what I've been doing or what's been happening, right? So I think we're okay. And you guys can always email me with questions. If there's something that doesn't make sense, don't hesitate. I don't want you to feel that I left something uncovered that you needed to know. I want to do my job and do it well. Okay, so that's all right. But I'm going to go ahead and make that guy even smaller. I still feel like it's too big for some reason. There we go. Let's do a creepy, super creepy, small iris and pupil. Okay, here we go. Let's back up, take a look at it. Yeah, I like that guy. I like that a little bit better. So let's go ahead and just paint it in. All right, so we're going to get that dark brown again. And let's make a new layer again. I'm going to attach a new layer. Actually, I'm just going to put one on top. And I'm going to turn my airbrush up and just go in and give it a nice feel. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to handle one eye at a time. All right, I'm going to do one eye in the tutorial. And then the other ones, I'm just going to do the exact same thing, and you'll be able to see what's happened. So I got a good base here for my eye, but we all know eyes don't really work. They don't have a lot of flat color, right? So I'm going to go a little bit darker, and I'm going to turn my opacity down so I get a nice gradual change, and the darker areas are furthest away from the raised pupil. Minimize my brush. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to rotate my screen a little bit. I'm going to do it again. Whoa. I'm using my Cintiq to adjust where my picture is. So it didn't work out as I wanted it to. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to take a step back. And I'm okay with that. I'm happy with it. I may change it later on, but I think I'm more concerned with showing the process than getting it perfect right now. So I'm going to select this brown, and I'm going to climb up the ladder. It's brownish red. And this is fairly, I mean, it's pretty light, but if you look in comparison, here's the current here. Here's the new color. So that's a pretty big jump. So it doesn't look very light, but it's certainly a nice jump. So I'm using the wrong brush. Go back to my brush tool and just want to create the illusion of a wet iris pupil. So I'm going to give the highest point. Here we go. And we can, of course, go back and, sorry about that, we can, of course, go back and play with this. So, all right, we want to build this up and give it a nice wet look. So that it makes sense where it is. And let's climb the ladder again, actually. Put a little more, okay. We know where the light source is coming directly from the front, according to the way that we've been painting earlier, so we're just going to support that here. And I'm going to climb again. I'm going to take a nice huge jump so that we can, for lack of a better word, rush through this part and I'll go through it again and really work on it. But I'm going to give those white highlights to create membrane liquid kind of substance here, so it looks pretty good. There we go. And round that guy off in the back, catching a little bit of the bounce light. And here. And here. There we go. And let's take a step back and take a look at it. And I may make a few adjustments, but for now I think we're okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn that into a symbol, and I'm just going to Control T and warp it and stretch it out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we got a pretty decent eye there. I'm going to go ahead and turn that into another symbol. So it's one piece. And I'm going to name it I1. So this is like the teeth. So I want to go ahead and name that. It's above the floater. So I'm going to hold my move. First I select my move tool. I'm going to hold Alt down and I'm going to drag it over. And Control T and flip horizontally and just put it in place, and oops. And let's just see what it looks like before we commit to using it. So let's go ahead and follow our drawing. If you got a good drawing, this is very easy to do. You just follow the instructions and it should work out. Yeah, I like that. I think that's pretty good. So I'd go in and clean it up a little bit. I'm going to put these two guys in a folder, and then I'll be able to copy them and place them. So when we come back, I'm going to leave those eyes sitting. I'm going to put them there, and then we're going to go to texturing a little bit, and hopefully we'll go back to the teeth pretty soon. So we have a lot more painting to do. So when we come back, we're going to go to texturing and painting, and we'll go from there.